You're listening to the Real Longevity Podcast, your number one podcast resource for living a longer life. Here we discuss topics on personal fitness, longevity, and real lasting elevation of mind, body, and spirit. Join us as we build a community of healthy men and women enjoying lasting levels of real health and vitality. If you're currently feeling frustrated with pain, flat, or fed up with aging faster than you actually are, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Longevity Podcast. Welcome to the Real Longevity family and get ready to live a life you truly love. Welcome back to the Real Longevity Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative and elevating show for you. I'd like to welcome all first-time listeners to the podcast. Be sure to stay to the end where I'll be sharing all my social media links where you can connect with me and the Real Longevity Podcast community. Welcome. Appreciate you tuning back in. We've got another brilliant episode for you today, one that you will find very interesting, and especially if you're someone who's been flip-flopping between starting your fitness and well-being journey and stopping, and that is being dictated by the gym or the environment that you work out or get fit in. Now, the gym, that place has been sold to you as almost like the holy grail of getting fit. It might actually be the worst place that you could start your health and fitness journey, especially if you're older, in your late 40s, 50s. Now, stay with me on this. Don't switch off, because what I'm about to share with you isn't just my opinion. It's something that I've personally witnessed time and time again with clients that come to me who are exhausted, they're in pain, they're disheartened, distressed, after doing, air quotes, all the right things and still feeling worse, feeling like they're not really making any kind of progress or making inroads towards their goal. And here's the thing, it's not your fault. It's the fitness industry. Now, the fitness industry was built for a very specific type of person. And that person is typically someone who is young, naturally athletic, someone who thrives on comparison, competition, looking in a particular way, and typically high-intensity exercises. And I dare say, at this stage on your journey in life, that's probably not you. The system wasn't designed with you in mind. So today, we're going to be flipping the script. Because it's spring, summer is not that far away, just around the corner, and right now you have a great window, a real, genuine window of opportunity to start building the kind of fitness that actually fits in with your lifestyle and where you are on your journey and your future. So let's dive into today's show. It's called Avoid the Anguish, why the gym is the worst place to get started in your fitness after 45. Avoid the anguish, why the gym is the worst place to start getting fit after 45. Avoid the anguish, why the gym is the worst place to start getting fit after 45. Now let's start with discussing the problem that no one really talks about. And let me do that by painting a bit of a picture for you. So it's January, it's that time of year again, you're all fired up, you've decided, right, this is the time, this is the year. So you join the gym, you go maybe 3, maybe 4 times in the first 4 weeks. In those times, you're surrounded by those young 22, 23-year-olds lifting twice their body weights. You're forcing yourself to go because it's an environment that you find intimidating. You're not really sure how to use the machines. You find that you're aching and in pain after each session. You feel out of place. And after going for 4, 5, maybe 6 weeks, you stop going. The membership is still there, but it's quietly draining your bank account away, and you're kind of hoping that nobody notices that you're not going. Now, that might sound familiar, and if it does, you're not alone, because the fact is, and the research consistently shows, that for the majority of new gym goers in January, within that 7 to 8 week period, they stop. And especially more, the dropout rate is even higher for people over the age of 45. Now, you might be thinking, well, why is that the case? Well, typically, that gym environment by default is not for you. It's built for people who are looking to improve performance and look a particular way. They're aesthetically looking to change their body. That's their primary driver. They're not really thinking specifically, that is, about longevity and well-being. And here's an even deeper truth. I've come to appreciate this as I've got older and working with clients from many different backgrounds. After 45, your body changes, your hormones change, and your hormones have shifted. Time it takes you to recover after doing any sort of physical activity or exercise, that takes a little bit longer. Your joints are not the same because they've got years of history. And your nervous system is different as well. It's more sensitive to stress, and that includes stress from high-intensity exercise or stress from an unfamiliar environment, such as the gym. When people start, they're going from zero activity to trying to sustain or maintain going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. That doesn't just risk injury, it actually spikes your stress levels, your cortisol level, that's your primary stress hormones, and that breaks down muscle. So it's actually going against you. It can disrupt your sleep, it can increase inflammation, and it can make you more exhausted rather than energized. And this is often what I've seen with people with those intentions that want to get themselves fit, but they're going about it in the wrong way. And this is what we talk about in the Real Rejuvenation Program. We talk about this in the A section of the program, and we're talking about activity and exercise daily, but we have to do that with a level of intelligence that we've talked about before. Exercising for the mind and body, and the key word here is daily activity, not brutal or extreme. It's being consistent, intelligent, and aligned with the right application. You've heard me say that before. It's CIA, consistent, intelligent approach, aligned and applying what we know in terms of that intelligence. And we're doing it according to where we are on our journey, where we are on our journey to becoming fitter, healthier, and upgrading our fitness and our well-being. That's one of the things I've observed over the years, and that might be something that you may be able to relate with. Now, you may be thinking, all right, that's true, Mike, I get that, but what is it that actually works? If it's not the gym, what do you do? So if it's not the gym, at least not your starting point. Now, again, I'm not bashing the gym because I love the gym environment, but I see so many people fail because they're going about it the wrong way and have the wrong when it comes to getting themselves fit, healthy, and well. What is it that does work? This is where this time of year, spring, it becomes your greatest ally. Now, think about it for a minute. We've noticed over the last 6 weeks, the days are getting longer, the temperature is getting a little bit warmer. Nature is literally springing back into action. It's actually waking you up and inviting you to do the same. It's inviting you outside. And there's something deeply biological and almost magical about the invitation. We as human beings, we're not designed to be exercising under fluorescent lights on a treadmill. We're not designed to be kept indoors. We're designed to move through the world. That means getting out in the environment, walking on uneven ground, uphill and downhill, in fresh air, with the wind in our face, with that changing light and that changing temperature. Outdoor movement activates your nervous system in a fundamentally different way than doing indoor exercises. We know that it helps to manage stress levels, it reduces cortisol, it boosts serotonin, it improves your cognitive function. All these things that are beneficial for you when you're moving outdoors. Connects you to nature. You've heard me talk about the benefits of getting outside and being in nature. Something that is not just a workout, it's about well-being. You know, when we go to the gym, we're thinking about working out and getting ourselves hot and sweaty and, achieving a specific goal, which is all good. But being outside in nature connects you to something bigger than that. It's almost like it connects you to the rhythm of life, the rhythm of the season. And this is season spring. So it's a great opportunity to start reconnecting with that environment. And that connection, what makes it more sustainable, because you're not paying for it first and foremost. It's not costing you anything. You can get out and do it whenever you want. It's not like you have to go to the gym or you're booking for a class or you're going to the gym to the particular workout. You can literally open your front door and you can be in your workout environment to make it be more something that you want to do, not something that you dread. Like for many people over the age of 45, 50, 60, they dread that gym environment. But getting outside, going for a walk, is something that most people will find enjoyable. So let me share with you some simple solutions or alternative approaches that can help you if the gym is not your bag, if the gym is not your thing, as I said, I'm not here to just bash the gym. I'm here to say the fitness industry has been telling you a lie for a long period of time. These are alternatives that you can start to introduce if you want to get yourself fit, healthy, and well, and avoid that anguish of the gym. So number one, take daily walks and protect it like it's a meeting. Now, no walking might sound too simple to be life-training. Hippocrates, who's often seen as the father of Western medicine, he said, walking is man's best friend. And I believe that to be true. A 30-minute brisk walk every single day will do far more for your metabolic health and your joint mobility, your mental clarity, and your cardiovascular fitness than sporadic gym sessions ever will. We've seen it before. People go to the gym, hit half a couple of weeks, and then you don't see them for months. If you can integrate into your daily activity, getting out and walking for 30 minutes, it can really help shift and change your life. Trust me, I've seen this many times in my clients. 30 minutes every day, that's around about 3,500 steps roughly. And if you do that in an environment like near water or out in the woods or through the trees, it's going to really help elevate your sense of well-being as well. Exposing yourself to the nature, we know it reduces inflammation, it reduces stress, it reduces high blood pressure. These things that you don't get in that gym environment. And science is now showing that there's lots of papers and literature and articles talking on the benefits of moving, walking outside. So that's number one, take daily walks. Number two, functional movements. Train for life, not the mirror. Again, I'm not knocking those aesthetics freaks. If you want to, leave me a comment and tell me it's all about the way you look. That's fine. I'll have that discussion with you. But we know as we get older, looking good is important, but it's maybe not the same level of importance it carries when we were in our early 20s. After you've established that walking habit, then it's something you need to consider. It's time to do some functional movements. And by functional, I mean movements that mirror what your body needs in daily life. I'm talking about getting up and out of the chair, getting up and down from the toilet seat, carrying the shopping, picking things up off the road, doing gardening type exercises, bending and picking things up without pain. So we're talking about things such as lunges, talking about things such as bodyweight squats, we're talking about things such as push-ups, not on the floor. If you can't get down, you can do these up against the wall. These exercises are going to help to strengthen the body. These are basic exercises that most people can do when done correctly and shown exactly what to do. And doing them 3-4 times a week to moderate intensity, and stress that is moderate intensity, builds up our real-world strength. They're going to allow us and equip us and arm us to go about and move about our environment in a way that we can do minimum pain, minimum fuss, minimum friction, and we don't have to do, the hard intensity training like many people think they have to do at the gym. We're not getting you to move like a athlete that's going to represent its country at the highest level. That's all good if that's your goal. We talk about just moving around like a human being who wants to navigate the environment with confidence, competence, and without pain. So introducing functional movements, you can do those every single day. Third, move your spine. So we're talking specifically about your back now, because we know for a lot of people, they do have minimum or reduced movement in their spine. But one of the most powerful things you can do for pain reduction and long-term vitality is a 5-minute spine mobility routine every single morning. If you don't do anything else, this is before you pick up the phone, before you get your coffee, before you sit down and listen to the news or whatever it is you do on the morning. We're talking about things like yoga moves, like those cat-cow stretches, gentle spinal rotations, bend and reaches, child pose, hip circles. These are things that you've seen me do in my YouTube videos. I'll leave a link in the description. You can go look at those on my sister channel. These are all very simple exercises that's going to help to lubricate the joints, get your nervous system ready in a safe and effective way, and reduces that morning stiffness that you can do. That's going to help manage your pain much more effectively. Some of my clients over the age of 45 described being stiff on a morning as one of their biggest battles. We spoke about it in the previous episode. I'll leave a link in the show notes how one of my clients, Margaret, just adopted a simple morning routine, and that changed the way she started her day very significantly. If you want to check that out, as I said, I'll leave a link in the show notes. 5 minutes, even if it's 2 minutes of doing some mobility exercises, can really be a game changer, specifically working on your spine. Step number 4, introduce mind-body activity. So we talk about this in the Real Rejuvenation Program. This is the A in the Real Rejuvenation Program, talking about activity for the mind and the body. Because we're doing things like alternative exercise such as Qigong or Tai Chi or yoga or mindful stretching. These practices are not fluffy add-ons that I'm just saying or woo-woo stuff. These are actually scientifically validated exercises and activities that you can do that's going to help reduce chronic pain, lower your blood pressure, reduce the stress levels, improve balance. That's going to help you prevent you from doing things that you get exposed to as you get older, like falling over. It's the kind of body awareness that keeps you safe in very challenging environments. But if you're doing these on a regular basis, that's going to help you to improve your movement as well. I know it's not that time of year, but when it gets that time of year, when it's slippery underfoot, because you've been practicing these type of movements, you'll be at less risk of falling and tripping and hurting yourself. So just doing 10 minutes of gentle yoga exercises 3 times a week, that's going to transform your relationship with your body, make you more aware of your body, or doing things like Tai Chi or Qigong. You'll start to notice tension and things in your body that you may have not been mindful of before or aware of previously. You start to breathe in a different way. You'll start to notice where the discomfort is being held, and you can start to respond to that and start to reduce that as you start to reconnect with your body. For a lot of people, they're walking around with so much tightness and tension in the body. But doing these type of exercises, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, helps to raise that awareness. This spring, I want you to find a mind-body practice and explore it. It could be any of those things I mentioned. It could be something else. It could be just, as I said, mindful stretching, being aware of your body. There are lots of different apps out there. YouTube, well, what can I say about YouTube? It has thousands of different options for beginners on there. So if you were to go on YouTube, I'm sure you would find something there. I mentioned about my sister channel, Built Glass Fitness. You can go on there and have a look at different routines that we've put together as well. And step number 5, very important one, I want you to track how you feel, not how you perform. This is a big one. This is a powerful one that's really going to shift your mindset from going away from how you're performing to how you're actually feeling. I want you to stop measuring progress by performance metrics and start measuring by how you actually feel. A lot of us are not in tune with how we feel. We can look at our Oura rings or our smartwatches or Fitbits, and they'll tell us, air quotes, tell us how we feel, but how are you actually feeling? Are you in tune with your body when it's communicating with you? Your body's communicating with you all the time, but often we don't really listen to it. So ask yourself the questions like, do you have more energy? Are you sleeping better? Is getting up from the floor getting easier? Do I have stiffness the same way in the morning? What's my mood like? These are all metrics that we need to be paying attention to as we're getting older, in our 50s and 60s. You know, not necessarily how many kilos you've lost or how fast you run or how many repetitions did you do. They're all great metrics and ways to monitor your progress if your sole goal is to improve your performance, but it's not the only way you should be focused on measuring your performance. So keep it simple. Just make a note. Today I felt like, and write it down. Today I noticed that, write it down. Over 30 days, make a note. Start logging and tracking, but writing down how you're feeling, not just looking at your Fitbit or your watch or whatever it is that you're typically being told to or encouraged to use as a way of measuring your performance. It's not artificial benchmarks. It's not some digital input. It's how you feel, getting back in tune with your body for where you are on this right age. So that's it. They're the 5 steps that you can do. So in summary, what we're talking about today, we're talking about avoid the anguish, why the gym is a worst place to start getting fit after 45. So let's bring it all together. We've talked about the traditional gym model, and it isn't necessarily the right place for people to start after the age of 45. And why that feeling of anguish, that feeling of intimidation can be avoided, and it can be avoided when you're being intelligent. You remember what you've heard me say before, your fitness without the right frequency is flawed and foolish. And if you're trying to improve your fitness and upgrade your health in an environment that you don't really like or you don't really enjoy, that could be classed as being foolish. So we talked about the Real Rejuvenation Program. We talked about activity specifically, daily activity for the mind and daily activity for the body, what it truly looks like or what it could look like for you. So we're talking about daily walking, functional movement, spinal mobility, keeping it nice and fluid and supple. And we talked about mind and body practices like Tai Chi or Qigong. And Most importantly, tracking how you feel, not how you perform. So not looking at that digital item or a screen to monitor or measure your progress. Spring is here, so the world is waking up again, and I hope you are as well getting back to, or you started or restarted that journey of getting back to looking and feeling your absolute best. Yeah, it's not necessarily has to be done in that gym environment. You don't need a gym to be fit. You need to be consistent. You need to be intelligent, and you have the right application and approach, and you are going to get on that journey to being free fitness and feeling your absolute best. Now, if this episode resonated with you, something in these words that has sparked out of something, that I want you to take the next step. The Real Longevity Community is a space for people exactly like you, men and women over the age of 45, who are doing the quick fixes, doing the gill, and ready to build a version of health that is genuine, is sustainable, and it's long-lasting, and it's personal to them. Inside the community, you'll find lots of different resources. You'll find support from myself. You'll find conversations that are good with people, as I say, just like you. And if you're ready to go the further step and you want to work with me directly and build up a program that is entirely built for you and your body and where you are on life's journey and how you want to upgrade and start finding more fitness and better freedom through the meaning of fitness, then I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'll leave a link in the show notes where you can complete that form and we can arrange a time to talk. Okay, so I trust you found today's episode insightful. Until next time, remember, real change is not about doing more. It's about doing what's right for you where you are on your journey. Be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Blessings and chi. Peace out.